Welcome to another lecture on building our CRUD application. We're going to do this a little bit out of the order of create, read, update, delete, just because it makes more sense to go in a specific order. So we're going to start with read, and we're going to use this opportunity to both look at the list and then kind of show one particular record type of approach. So I've got a new project here called CRUD read. Again, you can pull this down from the GitHub repository, but if you want to follow along here, an easy way is to just open up that CRUD start and start adding to it. So again, one of the things we have is a security configuration set up so that we are permitting access to everything that doesn't have a /admin admin route. Now we can do this here or we can do this in the controller. It doesn't really matter. I actually have this here. We could probably get rid of this because I actually have something set up in the controller, but no big deal, doesn't really matter. So I'm going to close that out. Another thing that we talked about in the setup was I was going to create a new controller package for admin stuff. So I don't want to have something called post controller again. Now I'm going to have an admin post controller. Now you can do everything in your post controller in just one controller if you wanted to, and annotate different methods to be secured. But I kind of just separated this one out just for this example. I just wanted to keep things a little bit simple here. So let's go ahead and look at what we want to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm not going to run this just yet. And why not? Let's do that. Okay, so we are on the home page and all we see is posts and authors at the top. We don't see an admin link just yet. And that's because we're not logged in. There's some security around that particular menu item to only show if a user is authenticated. So we're going to go ahead and click login, and our default user that we've set up is admin. So now I have an admin menu item where I can go to posts and authors. So this is not going to work yet because we have nothing set up, but I just want to go ahead and look at this. So if we jump into our new admin post controller, you can see we have secured the class with the role admin, so you need to be admin to view it. So let's go ahead and set up a request mapping. So if we jump back there, you'll see that in the lower left hand corner it goes to /admin/posts. So let's say /admin/post, and we are going to say this is a list, right? So we're going to return. Actually, let's do ahead. Let's just check something. So response body. All that's saying is return whatever the return statement. Basically, whatever type that it's asking for, let's go ahead and return it. I'm just going to return some data to the screen right now. I just want to kind of test something out. So let's say admin post list. And that should work. Let's go ahead and rerun that. So now what I want to see is if I go to /admin/posts not logged in, I should get some type of 403 not authenticated, right? And if I'm logged in, I should see that message. So let's not even log in and just go to admin/posts. And so right away, it knew that I needed to be logged in to be able to view that. So it took me right to our login page here. So now the nice thing is we don't have to write some kind of redirect back. If we just go ahead and log in, it's going to take us back to that route. And now we see that string outputted to the screen. Okay, so now what we want to do is go ahead and kind of make this work. So let's get rid of this. And what now we need is what is the view that we're going to return to the screen. So what view do we want to use? So I went ahead and set up some of these views already, so you didn't have to sit here and watch me type out HTML, which can be very boring, I promise you. So I've created an admin folder and then an author and a post inside of here. And so inside the post, I have a list.html. So we're going to end up returning that. So we say admin post list. That's what we're actually returning here. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to use a model because we're going to need that in a second. All right, so now if we jump into this list view, let's take a look at this. So there isn't a lot crazy going on here. We just have our title of posts, and then we have a table. And this table has some different headers here for title, posted on, slug, author, and a view link. And then here what we're doing is we're using the timely each iterator to iterate over each posts that exist, each post that exists in the variable called posts. And then all we're doing is outputting the title, the posted on, the slug, the author, and then we're linking to a particular post. The way that we do that here is using the timely href dialect here, and we're go ahead and this just makes sure that no matter what context we're in, we're going to get to admin/post and then the ID. So this is going to be something like /admin/post/1. We'll circle back to that in a second, but I'm not sure what error was down there, but we'll circle back to this in a second. And then we have an add new post. This link is going to help us later. We're not going to cover creating right now, but that'll be used for later. And then if we just have a post.size equals 0, we didn't find any posts. That won't actually be the case for us right now because we do have a data loader that bootstraps some data for us. So I think that's all we need here, but what we're missing is this post variable, right? We need a list of posts. So again, we're loading some posts when we start up, so all we need to do is add them. We need to go out and get them, right? So what we're going to do is go ahead and add an attribute, and that is going to have a name of posts. And where are we going to get those from? Well, if we look at our post service, we actually have a list method that is really just jumping into using the repository, and it's saying, hey, find all, but order those by posted on in descending order. So that looks like a good method for us to use. So I'm going to go ahead and say post service.list. And that should give us what we're looking for. So now what we can do is go ahead and rerun this. We're going to log in again, and we're going to visit from the admin link up there, we're going to visit the post link. All right, so let's just go to here, and we're going to log in. Admin, whoops. And now we're going to go to admin and posts. So we have two posts in here and they're being outputted correctly. So this looks good, but now we want a way to just visit the one, right? So we have these links here, and if you look in the lower left, it's doing a /post and then the number, the ID that we're talking about. So let's go ahead and make that work now. So we're going to jump back to our controller here, and we're going to set up a new mapping. So we're going to go to admin/post and then the ID. Whoops. So again, public string, we'll say view. We actually need a path variable for our ID, model. And in this case, we want to return admin/post/view is the name of our template. So that looks pretty good so far, but now again, let's jump over to the HTML. So again, I don't want to bore you with having me type this out, so actually we should probably remove that. That's a view posts. And all we got here is a form with some static controls on it. This is going to be helpful because I'm going to be able to kind of reuse this when I have my create form and my edit form, except obviously I would replace my static controls with actual input fields. But this will give me a good start to go ahead and create those. So all I have is a label, in this case title, and we have a static control, which is really just like a read-only. We're just displaying some text here out on the page. So we have every field that we need, along with the teaser and the body. And we're just outputting the values here. And then we also have a link that goes back to our posts list. So again, what we need to make this work is it looks like everything is looking for something called post. So we need a post object available in our view template. So the way that we're going to do that is just come back here. Again, we're going to model add attribute. So whoops. Model dot add, need that. So we're gonna have something called post, and where am I gonna get that from? So let's go back into our post service, and I actually have a method called get, and all that get method is doing is calling the post repositories find one. Now you won't find that in here because it's actually, hold on, let me jump back here. So if we jump to the post repository, you won't find that find one in here because it's actually part of the base CRUD repository that gives us those base methods like save and find one. So the find one, it takes a long ID, so we pass in an ID, and in our case we're going to go ahead and say post service dot get, and there's the ID that I'm going to pass in. So that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and see if that works. Okay, so we got a good error here. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so error creating request handler mapping. Could not resolve place error. Okay, so this is a good chance to go ahead and look at something. So we have a request mapping here of /admin/post/ID, and we are returning a string, and we have a path variable of long ID. That's right. Okay, so I paused it for a second just because I wasn't quite sure what was happening, and it just kind of hit me. So what we're doing here is it's actually looking to try and use this as a variable, and that's not the case. So we just want the brackets around ID, and now that's our path variable. So let's go ahead and restart this. Sorry about that, but it's good to see what happens when you get an error. Sometimes those errors can be harder to debug, but that's not the first time that I've done that, because a lot of the time leaf templates take that kind of syntax, so I've been doing that a lot lately. So now that we have that started, let's go back and let's go ahead and fire this back up. Again, log in. Now, what you could do as well is you could take that secured off while you're working on this. You don't have to restart and log in every time. I'm kind of doing that just to show you how everything's working here. So let's go to posts. Now what we can do is Grails is awesome. Spring data rocks. So now if we look over this, we have our post/1. If we click on that, now we're outputting the data for a single item. So here's our URL, admin/post/1, and we're outputting that data. And if we want to go back to our list and click on a different one, that's all there is to it. So this was the first step. We needed to be able to read, we needed to be able to list our posts and then read a single post. So part of that is, the next step in this is going to be able to create a new resource, in this case, a posts. So in the next lecture, we'll take a look at creating a post.